My boyfriend pretended to be rich for 2 years, and now that we're moving in together, I discovered he has debts of over 100,000 and lives with his parents. I met Lucas, fictitious name, 2 years ago at a professional networking event. He introduced himself as an investment manager at a famous brokerage firm, wearing an impeccable suit and speaking confidently about the financial market in international investments. In the first months of our relationship, Lucas constantly impressed me. He would pick me up in a Mercedes convertible, which I later discovered was rented, take me to expensive restaurants, and always order the most exclusive wines. He would casually comment on his investments in startups and how he was just waiting for the right moment to buy an apartment in the most valued neighborhood of the city. When I met his friends, they all seemed to confirm this image. They talked about international trips they had taken together, about the investments Lucas had recommended that worked out, and how he was the most generous guy in the group. One of them even mentioned how Lucas had lent him a considerable amount to help during a difficult time. Whenever I suggested going to his place, Lucas would make up some excuse. I'm renovating, I lent it to a friend who's going through a complicated divorce, or the building is having plumbing issues. We would always meet at my place or in hotels for privacy, according to him. I never suspected much because my professional life is intense, I'm a doctor, and I don't have much time to investigate details. Besides, Lucas was caring, attentive, and we had a genuine connection. His apparent financial success was just a bonus, not the reason I was with him. A month ago, I decided it was time to move in together. My apartment is small for 2 people, so I suggested we look for a new place. Lucas seemed hesitant but agreed. That's when things started to fall apart. First, he insisted we should rent, not buy, because the real estate market will fall in the coming months. A convenient prediction. Then he started suggesting increasingly distant and simple neighborhoods, far from the premium area he always said he wanted. When we finally found an apartment and it was time to submit documents for the contract, Lucas started to stall. The real estate agent required proof of income, tax returns, and debt clearance certificates. That's when he finally broke down. One night, crying on my living room sofa, Lucas confessed everything. He is not an investment manager, but a junior administrative assistant at the brokerage firm. His salary is approximately a quarter of what he implied he earned. Still lives with his parents in a distant neighborhood. The Mercedes was rented just to impress me during our first dates. He has debts of more than 100,000 Brazilian reals in credit cards, personal loans, and overdrafts. His rich friends are actually a group of people who maintain the same appearances, all supporting each other's lies. I was shocked. For 2 years, I dated someone who doesn't exist. Every story of professional success, expensive gift, which I now know were bought with borrowed money or paid in dozens of installments, every dinner at an exclusive restaurant, all part of an elaborate facade. When I asked why he maintained this lie for so long, Lucas said he was afraid of losing me, that at the beginning he just wanted to impress me, but the lie grew until it was out of control. Every time I thought about telling the truth, I imagined you leaving me for someone at your level, he explained through tears. I didn't know how to react. Part of me was furious at the betrayal of trust, not about the money itself, but about the constant lies. Another part felt sorry for him, seeing how his insecurity had led him to this extreme. I asked for a few days to think. During that time, I did something I should have done before. I researched him. I discovered that the situation was even worse than he had admitted. Through a friend who works with credit analysis, I learned that Lucas has his name in credit protection agencies, with several overdue accounts. He also owes child support for a 3-year-old child he never mentioned. When I confronted him again with these additional discoveries, he became defensive. I was going to tell you about that too, but one thing at a time, he said, visibly irritated that I had investigated his life. The irony of this indignation, coming from someone who had lied for 2 years, didn't go unnoticed. I called Lucas for a definitive conversation yesterday. I explained that the problem wasn't that he didn't have money. I never cared about that. The problem was the systematic lying, manipulation, and construction of a false personality. I said I couldn't continue a relationship without trust. His reaction caught me by surprise. Instead of accepting or trying to understand, he turned to tables. You're breaking up with me because I'm poor. If I were really rich, you would forgive anything. I tried to explain that wasn't it, but he continued. Now I see how superficial you are. You liked me for 2 years when you thought I had money. This distortion of reality was the final confirmation that distancing myself was the right decision. I asked Lucas to remove his belongings from my house, some clothes and personal items he kept here, and said I didn't want any more contact. Since then, I've received dozens of messages from his friends accusing me of elitism and superficiality. Some even suggested that I have a moral obligation to help him financially, since I encouraged his lifestyle by accepting the gifts and dinners. I blocked most of them, but I can't stop questioning everything. How did I not notice the signs? Were there obvious clues that I ignored? And mainly, how can I trust someone again after discovering I was deceived so elaborately for so long? My friends are divided. Some think I'm right to end defend it. Others suggest that everyone lies and that I should give a second chance if I really love him. I don't know what to do with the contradictory feelings I have: anger at the betrayal, sadness at the loss of the relationship I thought I had, and even concern about how he will deal with his debts.